Hey everyone, welcome to the first edition of Ask Jason. I don't know what we're going to call this. It's the first episode, so it's just a Q&A show. Um, Megan, I'll let you kind of figure out a name for this. You'll be in charge of that going forward.
All
But
right.
but really, this is a Q&A show. I plan on going live every single week to come in and answer some of your questions around business and marketing and how to grow your business. So when I first announced that I was doing this, I put up on Instagram, you can submit your questions. We got in a few questions. Megan compiled the list. We're going to go through some of them now, but if you have any questions, you could put them in the comments below. We'll try to answer on this call or live next week when we go live. And yeah, we'll make sure we try to get to everyone's questions and make sure everyone's answered. So submit them so we have them for future. But really, that's what the show is: going live, answering questions, and making sure that we provide some value. So that being said, I don't think there's much else to do. Megan, you have the questions, right?
Yeah, I do.
All right, so let's kind of dive right in. Let's start.
All right. So Taylor, am I saying last names?
Are you saying last names? No, don't. Don't. I don't even want to hear first names, but whatever. If we have to do something, so it's the question's all that matters. But yeah, give the first name so the people listening, at least if they ask the question, they understand it was their question. They hear their name. But no, I don't think we have to do last names.
All right.
But then you get names with like weird pronunciations, and we're gonna butcher them, and then we're gonna get yelled at. It's not worth it.
All right. Okay. So what's a good budget for daily spend on ads?
A good budget for daily spend on ads. Okay, first off, there's no real right or wrong answer to this. If you're in e-commerce, for example, and you want to target, and let's talk Facebook ads, because I think that's where the majority of these questions came from in the first place. But if you're going to start really spending with Facebook ads, you have an e-commerce store and you're targeting all of North America, or you're targeting all of the United States. It's very hard to get by with a limited spend, because you just have to keep testing. The major spend in ads before you start scaling, before you start growing, but when you're first starting off, the major spend goes into testing, because 9 out of 10 ads fail. That's just the truth. And you have to spend through that in order to find the winners, in order to get the data, in order to figure out what to do. So the good news is you may lose a bunch of money. That's not good news, but the good news comes when you lose a bunch of money, you figure out what not to do, and you figure out what works. And when you figure out what works, that 1 out of 10 ads that work, you just scale and spend even more on that. So you have to understand, by targeting all, and you're putting 3 creatives in, like 3 ads in, and you're targeting all of the United States, you're not giving Facebook enough budget to really go out and test, right? You're breaking that down over such a large amount of people that you're spending a lot. So from the agency that we run, we try to tell the e-commerce people, if you're not running $10,000 on ads for e-commerce and targeting all the United States, you're kind of going to be in a hard position, right? So maybe 5,000 to start, because we need to test and get through that. If you have proven stuff, it could work. Now, all that being said, is you could probably start as low as $5 to $10 a day. If you really want to just get started, there's some low hanging fruit, like retargeting. You could do a bunch of retargeting ads. Even then you have iOS issues, but you just need time. You either need time, if you're going to spend a low budget, you need time to wait it out and get all that data to come in. But I prefer to spend fast and get that data faster. I don't like waiting months and months for data to come in and then be like, oh, we should have done this and this and move forward. There's plenty of ways to spend a lot of money. You could bleed it out over a long period of time, or you could spend it fast and get the data and move on and figure out what works and what doesn't work in a shorter time period. Also, if you're a service-based business, for example, and you only target a local area, a local geographical area, then you could get by with like $10 to $15 on ads, because you could just carpet bomb your entire area. Carpet bomb, for those of you who don't know what that means you could show a video and just let that video show to everyone within that area. It's one of the best strategies, I would say, if you're a local business, in order to get in front of people. But yeah, I mean, there's no real good answer to this question. It really depends on what you're trying to do, what type of business you're in. So I need a little bit more context into that. But you could start off small and just spend a lot more time in order to get that data, or you could spend fast and get that data a lot faster.
Okay. Okay, awesome. All right. So next question, Jesse, how do I figure out and know why my site isn't converting as high as it should be?
One more time. What was that question?
How do I figure out and know why my site isn't converting as high as it should be?
Okay. So as high as it should be, I mean, here's another context question, I guess. As high as it should be, according to who? Right? I've seen sites that have a 3% conversion rate. Let's say in e-commerce again, have 3% conversion rate, but they think they need 5%. Now it's always good to strive to get higher, but as high as it should be, I don't like that language. And Jesse, was it? It was Jesse who asked that.
Right.
So Jesse, I want you to switch that language and just be like, how do I get my site to convert better? Because as high as it should be, I don't even know if you're looking at the right benchmarks. But I mean, simple ways is one, send mystery people to the sites, or send people to the site and have them talk about their experience, where they're getting lost. If you're selling products online, you could get mystery shoppers to come in and buy, and they could kind of go through everything and kind of see where the friction is and where they're getting lost and where they're dropping off. It's also, like paying attention and getting the measurements, the KPIs, the numbers for you to see where people are falling off. Are they coming to your site and just bouncing right away? That could be, the ad or whatever you're using to drive them to the site. There's a lack of congruency between what you're sending them to, what you're telling them, and what they're seeing on the site. So they bounce right away. It could be, are you losing them in the checkout process? Are you losing them after this? So you can send mystery shopper. If you don't want to pay for mystery shoppers or pay people to go on your site, there's tools like Hotjar, which allow you to do heat maps. So you put a small piece of code on your site, and it allows you to actually, watch what people are doing on your site. You can actually see recordings of actual users going through your site and kind of seeing what's happening, where they dropping off, why didn't they buy, why aren't they doing this. And then the next thing I would put on is probably what's called an exit survey, which is if they click out before they ever accomplish the goal you're looking for them to accomplish, a little survey pops up and says like, hey, just out of curiosity, why didn't you buy? Now, not a lot of people want to fill that out, but there are some people who fill it out, and that's valuable info that you're going to get back. All that heat maps, mystery shoppers, people going through your site, exit surveys, those are all good places to start in order to get an understanding of what the UX is on your site, what the usability is, how are people navigating through your site. That's a great way. That's where I'd start.
Okay. All right. Next up is from Casey. How do I convince my clients to go on to TikTok?
From Tusi?
Casey.
I was like that. Yeah. All right. See, we're butchering first names. I imagine we have to do last names here. All right. How do I convince my clients to go on TikTok? You don't. I mean, I've been doing this long enough now to realize that you can't convince clients to do anything. You could provide them the best resources, the best value of information, but you can't want it more than your client wants it for themselves. That's the biggest mistake anyone in services, even with the agency, with my coaching program, the market domination method, like we have people that pay to be part of, to be coached and learn how to grow their business. But if they don't show up, they don't do the work, you can't want it more for them. You can't. I could give you the resources. I could give you the know-how, the knowledge to do it. But if you're not going to do it, I can't make you do it. So, there are plenty of people who believe TikTok is the best time, is the best platform and the best time to be on it right now. I'm one of those people. I'm pretty bullish on it. I think we haven't seen that type of organic reach and that type of effect and low cost of advertising right now. Since the early days of Facebook and Instagram. It's the closest thing that I've seen to that. But I mean, we have clients within the agency that we tell we should be running TikTok, but they don't. They don't want to. They don't believe their audience is there. It's the same conversations literally I had 5 years ago when I first had to convince clients to try Facebook ads. Right? That was think about how crazy that is. How long ago, and not so long ago, I guess, but how it shifted. They were all doing SEO. Most of the people were doing SEO. In fact, in order for me to first get my first client, I actually had to run an ad which sounds so obvious. Everyone's running ads to get clients right now, but I ran an ad to get a client because the way I combated with, oh, I don't know if Facebook ads work. I would say, well, how do we get on this call? And they were like, oh, I saw your ad and I clicked, I get it now. And that was my way of just demonstrating to them that Facebook ads even work, because it was my way of solving that. But you start banging your head against the wall and people are like, I don't know. It's hard to sell that. Those are the same people that never wanted to leave SEO and then slowly late shifted to Facebook and wish that they got there on the early days. It's going to be the same thing with the clients you're trying to convince right now. I guarantee it that in a couple of years, if not months, they're going to realize that they should have spent time on TikTok and they should have got in early. But some people are just very, very comfortable where they're at and they don't like making changes. Also, they may not even have the content to go onto TikTok, and TikTok's a very specific type of content. It's not just taking your same Facebook ad and now running it on TikTok. It doesn't work. You have to make native content for the platform. But yeah, I wouldn't waste your time selling it. That, you know, there's a lot of people that are going to be in on it, and if you sell TikTok services, then go find those people who are ready to invest and be early adopters, and you know, capitalize and land grab while they can. And in a few years, the people that you were trying to convince, they'll come back to you anyways and realize that they were wrong.
All right. All right. So next up is Mark. Mark asks, how do I test the market for my new product?
How do I test the market for my new product? I mean, lots of ways, I guess. I mean, you could run ads and see what the feedback is on the ads. You could knock on doors and if you sell something, go into stores and see if they'll carry it and get feedback from buyers of why of retail, why they won't carry it, why they will carry it. The answer is just get in front of people. That's really how you test the market. I mean, there's infinite ways to test the market. If you have the budget, I'd run ads and you know, see if people want it. You know, if you don't have the budget, then I would go and knock on doors and try to get in front of as many people as possible. You could use organic content, you know, to see people are interested, and just get valuable feedback. I'd go to a trade show around your industry and see if people are you know, want in. It's just, I mean, Facebook. These days we've created such lazy marketers, or business owners. And I'm not Mark, I'm not calling you a lazy business owner. But the question in general, just like, there are ways, and there's many of ways. It's, do you want to do those ways? And I think that's the real question.
Okay, so next up is from Joe. Advice for business owners with a limited ad budget.
I mean, that kind of goes back into the first question that was asked, about you know, daily spend. But if you have a limited ad budget, you could still get away with ads. Again, like I said, you could go after low hanging fruit. You could do retargeting, but I mean, going back to Mark's, this ties in again, right? This is just fundamentals, right? The question, I think when I get this question a lot, right? If I don't have the ad budget, how do I market my business? How do I grow? It tells a lot about the person asking the question. And again, I don't mean to be insulting, but one thing I always am is brutally honest, and it comes from a place of genuine love. I promise that, not a place of any malice, but it's really, during the last few years, it was easy to just put anything on Facebook and put $1 in and get $5 back. Now, big changes have happened. iOS happened. It's harder. Reporting, attribution, all these things have been problems, and business owners don't know how to handle it. It's because they were lazy and never understood how to build a business in the first place. They understood, cool, I could throw $1 in and get $5 back. That's not a business strategy. That's a great, I'm capitalizing on a moment, like going back to TikTok, right? Like, it's capitalizing on a moment, but that's not growing a business. So how do you grow your business if you don't have an ad budget? I mean, join your chamber of commerce if you're a local business. Go to networking events, go to masterminds, go to trade shows. You know, make a ton of content and put content's, you know, posting organically on all the social media platforms is free, but you're not going to grow as fast as you thought. And we're not going to get sales right away. That goes to the next thing, right? It's not understanding how business really works and making a bunch of excuses of why you don't want to do those things. But posting on TikTok 3 times a day, posting on Instagram 3 times a day, posting on Facebook 3 times a day, that's free. Making YouTube content, it's free. It lives out there. YouTube's the second largest search engine in the world. It's free to put your stuff out there. Cold email, reach out to people, try to get in front of. I talk about this all the time. I think the number one strategy that I would do if I didn't have any money for ads, for the agency, we sent out direct mail, and I think we're about to close 2 clients from direct mail. And I did it as a point to show one of our clients that you don't need necessarily ads to run a business. One of my coaching clients, and we're probably going to close 2 people just from that. And that was just a small little test. But I think the number one way I would grow my business right now, if I had to start from scratch and I had no money for ad spend, it would be joint ventures. Find somebody who has a list of your ideal customers. It could be, you sell t-shirts and they sell pants, right? So that people need both, right? You're not going to walk around with just pants, and you're not going to walk around with just t-shirts, maybe in some weird places, but that's what I would do. I mean, Justin Bieber walks around with I don't know if you saw his outfit from the concert, but I wish this wasn't like, we could edit this video and post a picture of it, because and maybe in the comments I will, because he was wearing like pants that had like holes down the whole side. It looked like it honestly, it wasn't like jeans with rips in it. It was like literally someone cut out like the whole front part of it, and you saw just his legs, and then no top. So I mean, some people wear half pants, like half pair of pants, and no top. So I mean, that may not be a good joint venture for him. But where was I going with this? But yeah, back to joint ventures. If you know someone who has your list and they're not direct competition from you, figure out a way of what value you could bring them so that they could email their list, and then you can maybe give them a royalty or give them a percentage of sales that happens. But there are people who have your list of customers and they're looking for more ways to monetize that list. I think that's the biggest problem, is people have their customers and they don't try to monetize them enough. And that's one way to do it. So your customers need pants. So if you're not selling pants, do a joint venture with them and say, hey, well, look, we're going to send anyone who comes in, we're going to give them a coupon code to your pants as well. So that's the fastest way I'd grow my business, because you're getting access to highly qualified people in your demographic, in your area, who are looking for the solution that you have, without you spending a cent on advertising.
Great. Okay, next up is Marlene. She asks, what type of boss are you? So this is probably one for me to answer.
If anyone here, I think you're the most qualified person to answer this, but you don't have to answer. I'm not gonna put you on the spot on that, because it's going to be totally unbelievable when you sit there and say all the nice things that are actually true and flattering about me, and you just go on and on about how I'm the best person to work for and I'm the best boss ever. So it's not going to be believable coming from you because you're on a call with me. But you can always reach out to Megan and ask her what type of boss I am. But I think I have my strengths and weaknesses, and I think I'm pretty much aware of that. I like things done a certain way, but I think I'm the type that I used to be a heavy micromanager. I think Megan could agree with this one. Actually, you're not allowed to say anything bad about me. You're not allowed to say anything, but it's really to make sure. I want to just make sure that everything's set up in a way, and I think we're at that with the business, Megan, where we have the systems in place and everything in place. And I think it says more about me as I was growing. I wasn't building those systems as we were going, and I think I just want those systems in place so that it frees me up. I'm just looking for free time in order to go and do the things I need to move the business forward. And in order to do that, I need my team to execute, and I need to make sure that things are going and they understand. You probably don't, maybe you remember this, but in our first call, I said, one of the things that I look for is I need someone who, if I give the orders of like, capture the hill, they don't go capture it. Just try not to get too many people killed doing it, but just go do it. And it's commander's intent, really. I don't like to have to specify every step of the process along the way for you to do it. I want my team to go and execute. And if they do it bad and they come home and half the soldiers died capturing the hill, well, guess what? We're gonna have a conversation about what could have gone better. But if I'm now doing that, that's where I think a lot of business owners have problems letting go, is because they try to make those plans and then they have to micromanage that plan along the way, which is something I think I've gotten a lot better at. And you could really answer, Megan, if you want, but I think that's kind of what I want. I just want my team to execute. I know my strengths. I'm a visionary. I'm not an integrator, but I just want to make sure things are done. I don't know, Megan, does that sum me up?
That's pretty accurate. And I'd like to also add that Jason is super helpful with anybody that he works with. I mean, even outside of like your traditional business hours, he's always there to help. He's very—
Don't say things like that. We can't say things like that. That's how people take advantage of off business hours.
No, but you're very helpful, and you like to see people grow and advance. So that's a great quality.
Thank you, Megan.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. I don't know how. I don't know what type of boss I am, but yeah.
All right. Next is from Brian, and he asks, "How do I market my shop?"
How many more questions do we have? Just FYI.
I think this is about the last one.
Okay. And just a reminder, if you have any questions, put it in the comments below. If I don't get to it, I promise we'll eventually get to all questions. This is going to be a weekly live show. So we'll put out the time, or we'll figure out the time. But I wanted to get episode 1 done of the Jason Q&A. We have to think of a name for this, because like this is bad. But yeah, sorry, totally just derailed this entire question. But yeah, what was the question again?
Just how do I market my shop?
I mean, right? The last few questions are kind of all pretty much the same. I mean, these questions are just, again, come back to the last era of people needing instant gratification and needing and thinking that, I don't need to build a business and I could just put things on a Facebook ad and generate bazillions of dollars. So, I mean, there's literally a gazillion, bazillion, I don't know, infinite ways for you to market your shop. So, I mean, I don't even know. This question is not a good question. I'm going to answer it because it gives me the ability to kind of just be pissed off and annoyed and rant. And, I'm only on coffee number 1 right now. So here we go. There are a bazillion ways that you can market your shop. Brian,
Right, Brian.
Brian, there's a bazillion, million, gazillion, whatever the highest number is in the world to market your shop. I mean, PR, podcasts, ads, making organic content, direct mail, cold email, joint ventures, knocking on doors, picking up the phone, LinkedIn outreach. I mean, there's pick away. You want to get in front of people and you don't have the money. Well, guess what? There's plenty of businesses that have grown their business without a cent. There's influencer marketing. There's wow, the gifting suite. I could keep going and go. Like, if this question, I don't even know. I would love to know, Mark, please. Brian, I'm picking on Mark. Sorry, Mark, but Brian, like, I would love to know the context of this question, because like there are a bazillion ways that you can market shop, and in full true love and wanting to help. Listen, if you don't have the budget, joint ventures, cold email, direct mail, those cost stamps, and those cost you a little bit of time to write things. Those cost you building a list. It's time, right? Ads cost money. there's only two currencies in growing your business. That's time or money. You have to pay one of those things. That's it. Like there's no getting around it. Yeah. Ads are a shortcut to time because it allows you to scale and get in front of all those people. Versus if you have to pick up the phone and send an email to every single one of those people, unless you're going to do copy and paste emails, which I don't recommend you do for cold email, always try to at least, tie a little bit into their business of what they're doing. But if that's the pushback I get to that is, but that takes so much time, right? That's what usually when I give that advice, they're like, oh, that's a great idea, but I don't have the time to do that. And I'm like, okay, well, cool. Go spend $5,000 on ads. And then they sit there and say, well, I don't have the budget to do something like that. So they don't have the time to grow their business. They don't have the budget to grow their business. I don't know what they're hoping for is going to happen. I don't know what they think is I'm going to be able to sell them or tell them to do. But if I had the solution that took away time and money and allowed you to grow your business, I'd be a billionaire, right? Like that, like I'd be the richest person in the world because I'd make that proprietary. I'd keep it to myself and I'd charge a hell of a lot of money in order to do that, in order to teach people, which then costs them money. But it frees up my time and money and I get to make a lot of money. So honestly, it all depends what you're looking for. But look, we run an agency that's catered towards more paid media than anything else. So I get a lot of the ad side of things, but I think Megan, what we do a lot of is the educating more than anything else to our clients about the other options that are there. Because I believe an educated client stays longer. And in the coaching program, the last thing I want people to understand is the last thing I want people to think is that it's a Facebook ads course. They're coming in and learning how to buy ads, or that they need, or what platforms they should be advertising in, because some people may not want to advertise on there, and that there's many ways to grow their business that don't rely on that, but they cost time. So you have to ask yourself, what's more valuable to me? What's more valuable to my business? Is it time? Do I have, and not even more valuable, what do I have more of? Do I have more time to dedicate? Am I working as hard as I should be? Have I audited my time of where I'm spending my time? Can I get an extra hour a day? Look, part of the biggest reason why I hired an assistant was to buy time, right? I needed more time to do things, right? Money just bought me more time, and time is what I need in order to grow my business. The money comes in from allowing me to have time in order to grow the business. So I think that's a hiring mistake that a lot of people make, is they don't solve for the bottlenecks of what they're going for. But we're getting off topic here, but Brian, a bazillion ways. And if you want me to list them out for you, feel free to comment below and we'll go through a lot more ways. But I'd love to know the context into this question of like, are you working 7 jobs and you don't sleep, and you're working 24/7, and then you're also broke, which those two things never happen, right? There's no one working 24/7, and anyone that I've ever worked with, when they've audited their time, has always found an extra hour or some time. And then do you have the money and you're just not, and you're not comfortable and you're too scared to invest it? That's another reason, right? People are too scared to put their money into ads because they're afraid, what happens if it doesn't work? I lost that money. And that's the wrong way to play. You can't grow a business by holding on to money. You can't grow a business by saving money. It just doesn't work that way. So that's kind of my answer to that question. Yeah. Megan, you said there's no more questions?
Yes, that's it for now.
Cool. So thank you so much, Megan. Awesome job. Episode 1. We're going to make you a staple here. I think you're going to be the star of this show eventually. We need more "how is Jason" questions so that I could get the flattery from you. But thank you so much for paying attention. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, again, put them in the comments below. Again, weekly Q&A show coming up, name to be determined. The Jason Q&A show just sounds really awful. But that's what we're going to call it right now. So thank you for listening to the Jason Q&A show. And we'll see you next time.